It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show!
To a special All the Horror in April edition of Fellowship of Geeks. This is Thomas, and joining me for this episode is Mike.
Hey.
Les.
Hello, all.
Liz.
Hello, everybody.
And we are joined by Brandon again.
Hey.
And a special guest. If you've been with us for some of our other All the Horrors, we've had her on a couple of times, and it's always a treat. From Pitney Amelia's Bitchin' Boutique, it's Amelia!
Hello!
Yay.
Hello! So happy to be here.
Not that you're not a special guest, Brandon. I mean, I just want to put that out there.
I'm special.
It's and the rest, you know.
Right.
Sorry.
And gang.
And gang. So how are you guys doing?
Delightful.
Pretty good.
And bomb.
So far, so good.
Oh, of course, Mikey and I go to the Curly Howard greetings, so there we go.
Oh, of course.
Before we get into this week's discussion, hey, Amelia, why don't you promote your podcast?
Oh, sure. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, we are Pitney and Amelia's Bitchin' Boutique. We go up every other Friday. We are just a silly, nonsensical, very Gen X, chit-chatty kind of a podcast about nothing in particular, just whatever kind of, it's basically about us, about Pitney and I, and whatever pops into our heads about our lives and things we find amusing or annoying. And let's see, we're about to, oh yeah, the one that's going up this week. I kind of go off on Kanye West a little bit, and yeah, I found out, I heard about some lyrics of his that made me laugh so hard I almost fell off my chair, and I recited them to Pitney, and he was just like, "Oh my God, say them again!" And I won't reveal them here, but because they're a little much, but yeah, they're hilariously bad, and we had just way too much fun with that. But you know, just whatever strikes us as hilarious, and yeah, so we're sort of everywhere that all the classy podcasts are found, and all over the social medias.
Okay, that would be where ours isn't, right?
Wow.
I love you.
You're
guys.
fired.
Well, I take that back.
Such a great start to the episode. Woo-hoo.
Got to make it memorable.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well, with that, let's get into our discussion. We are going to be talking about the 1958, right? 1958 classic, The Blob, which this is Steve McQueen's first starring role, right? He was in other stuff, but this is his first one as a lead actor.
Yep.
Right. And according to this, it doubled up with I Married a Monster from Outer Space.
Mhm.
That's an interesting double feature.
Mhm.
Okay.
I missed that.
Before we get
58. We watched the 1988 one, didn't we?
Okay, now you really are fired.
Oh, Liz.
Okay, before we even get into discussing the film, what's your thoughts about the music, the opening theme?
Oh man,
Oh, it's so good.
I loved it.
It's great, but I'm like, am I really watching a horror film? Because this does not get that vibe.
It reminded me of like the Beach Bingo. What
Very
was his
much.
name?
Yeah,
Annette, guy with the good hair. Frankie?
Frankie
Avalon?
Avalon?
Yeah, there you
Yes.
go. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the guy with the good hair, there was kind of a couple.
Yeah, that didn't narrow it down that much, but we got there eventually.
Yeah.
But y'all knew from the music,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I thought it was catchy,
Very catchy.
but it was tough to dance to, so I'd give it about a 8.
Oh God.
I found it very easy to dance to. I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, the rest of the night, you're gonna have that image of Les dancing to that music. Just think about
It's
that.
the only way I ever get through a podcast is imagine Les dancing anyway, so it's cool.
And again, I'm not complaining about the music. I love it. It's catchy, but I'm just like, if this is supposed to be a scary film, I'm not getting the vibe from this.
It is catchy in a sore thumb sort of way, for sure.
Missed the mark on that one. Should have been like some creepy,
Honestly, the visuals for the opening credits almost match the song. So I mean, you just
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it really does give the impression that what the hell are we getting into here?
It's
So
the song kind of has the same kind of mood as songs like the Monster Mash, so it kind of feels like a silly, novelty horror song as opposed to something that's actually scary.
Yeah.
It kind of fits into that kind of a mode.
Like the Blob was a cat or something.
Well, yeah, like they're trying a little too hard to make it appeal to a certain age group. Again,
Yeah.
we get back to 50-year-olds writing stuff aimed at teenagers and
Right.
how that always goes over so well.
Yeah.
So let's get into the
Speaking of 15-year-olds as teenagers.
50. I said 50.
50, yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, that shut it down quick.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. We're supposed to talk about it? Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
I have
Good night,
many
folks.
things to say. I have a lot of notes. I just, I don't let y'all start, and I will chime in.
Okay.
Many things.
Liz, since you're our resident Blob expert, why don't you start?
Oh, man. Where to start with this one?
We could
The
go all
beginning.
sound and music of it and start at the beginning, which is a very, very good place to start.
Yeah.
Well, she
Kind of a
blew that
weird
off.
one. Definitely weird. Wasn't there a sequel also to this one too?
There was.
Yeah.
I guess from the ending of the movie, it kind of showed that wasn't a really good idea, so it came back for the second one. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think my brain combined the two movies together because when I watched it again, I realized that I wasn't really that I didn't really remember the movie the way I thought I did.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it had been a long time since I'd seen it, but I was like, God, I think I'm completely remembering the other movie
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
then
because
there was
it was like a whole new thing for me. I was like, have I actually seen this? I know I have.
Yeah. I think there was also like a Tales from the Dark Side or something that kind of had a blob story with the kids stuck out on the raft, and I remember when I watched this one, that's what I was thinking it was, and it was like, no, what was that show?
You may be thinking about Creepshow too.
Maybe it was Creepshow.
With the lake and the black goo that ate the kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Creepshow too. Yeah.
Yeah. That one was better than this one.
Okay.
As I said, it doesn't say a lot for either, but yeah, I mean, Steve McQueen, woo.
Yeah. I did look it up. He was 28 when he made this movie. I did look it up because I kept thinking, God, he looks 40.
Yeah.
But I think it's because in my mind I have a hard time thinking he could ever have been younger than 40. I don't know why.
I'm pretty sure he came out of the womb looking exactly the same. From the day he was born to the day he died, he doesn't ever seem to age.
Yeah, I think my brain just can't, age him up or down.
Which didn't really make him all that believable as a teenager in this movie. But,
no, not at all.
He looked like the dad of all the other teenagers.
He kind of
yeah. Like he should have been the sensible one, not the one racing cars backwards.
Yeah.
Well, he had a lot of experience. I mean,
or the one hitting on Helen Crump in the backseat of the car either. Anyway.
Well, after Brandon watched it, we had a discussion on older actors usually did play teenagers. I said I don't know why. I mean, there wasn't like there was not a surplus of teenagers at the time, but I think they did that to kind of get around the, portraying them as rebels and naked or whatever. You ain't got a teen doing this. You got a 30-year-old doing this, So, yeah, they could have filled in the wrinkles or something.
wow.
It's an ancient 28-year-old.
Right. Yeah.
It's not the years, it's the mileage.
Right. Well, Brandon had said he looked like a 30-year-old, and when we looked it up, he was.
He was,
yeah,
pretty much,
yeah.
Yeah.
Although I will say one thing, because speaking of looking things up, one of the things that I felt I felt like I had to look up was that for a movie called The Blob, nobody ever referred to the blob as a blob. They always referred to it as a monster.
Uh-huh.
And it made me wonder if the word blob even existed. And I found out, apparently it's existed for hundreds of years. I'm sorry, I'm going to cough.
Okay.
But, I thought it was very weird that, if you're trying to explain, I saw this thing, and you're trying to explain to someone what is happening and what you saw, if you're just saying, well, there was this monster, that's not descriptive. That is not helping.
Yeah.
And no one ever said, well, it was like this big red blob. No one ever said it. Or a big red mass of some sort that was just sort of oozing along. No one ever bothered to describe it. They just kept saying it was a monster. And it's like, monster is like the last word I think I would come up with.
Right.
I think monsters have feet.
Yeah. Like, they don't even go with slug or something. They don't even go with that. Yeah, It's,
Monsters have feet?
Monsters have feet and maybe mouths.
Yeah.
Like big,
Would
gnarly
you be scared
teeth.
of a monster if he didn't have feet? You definitely outrun him.
Yeah. I mean, monsters have teeth that bite you, or feet to stomp on you, or
Make scary sounds.
Yeah. This thing just kind of sits there and wobbles. It's like, I don't.
And eats your face. I mean, in all fairness.
Yeah.
Eventually, when it gets there.
It works its way, you know. It's like the aperitif.
But he doesn't have any teeth.
It's like he took his dentures out and hated it.
Right. If it had been squishing around, but it had this perfect set of teeth sitting in the middle of it, it would have totally been a monster.
You would have been like,
and sneakers. It needs to have sneakers down at one end.
Yeah, obviously.
So that there's
obviously, 'cause
feet.
It would have been
right.
terrifying.
Absolutely.
Maybe if you had a
Just
Snickers,
think
it would
about
have
it.
been a monster.
That totally scary.
Pretty sure we got something like that in the Hellraiser movies, but whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Something.
Speaking of dentures, was
Are we going
was
talk about
was
the old timer?
I was about to say the scene where the old timers messing with the meteor. Did anyone else go meteor shit?
Oh.
No.
No.
But I did say Jordy Verrill, you lunkhead.
There you go.
Your shit was Stephen King.
Yeah, from the Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill from Creepshow.
I forget which.
Creepshow 1.
The
It's
original
funny because I hadn't. It's been a while since I've seen the blog. So when I watched it the other night and I got to that scene, that's immediately what popped in my head. It's like, Jordy, you lunkhead, be your shit.
Clearly, it's been too long since I saw Creepshow.
Definitely makes me want to watch it again, though.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Add
darn
it
it.
to the
I'm just
list.
going to have to watch Creepshow now. Darn it.
Add it to the list. Yep.
I love that movie, right? Except for the ending. I have an issue with bugs. So, God, that story was hard to get through.
Oh.
Anyway, the Blob.
The Blob.
Or the monster.
Yeah. We couldn't
With
call
no
it
with
that.
no teeth or
Or
no
feet.
No teeth and feet.
It doesn't talk.
It doesn't. The
Well,
silent
I
killer.
mean, Godzilla doesn't talk either. He just roars. So,
But he's got feet.
but he's
And
got
teeth.
feet. He's got
He's
teeth.
got feet. Even when he's still halfway underwater, you know he's got feet under there. I mean, you just know.
Yep. Because he's walking instead of sliding.
That's right. He's not just sitting there
About Mothra.
jiggling.
Or Gamera.
Mothra's got lots of feet.
Yeah.
I don't know about teeth, but lots of feet. Enough feet to make up for the fact that he doesn't have teeth.
I would say so.
Wow.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
So the old timer who has feet, I don't know if he has teeth. He may have had teeth.
If he did, he
So he
didn't have
must
for
have been a
long.
monster.
No. He eventually only had one hand, eventually. But the thing about the old timer, though, and because I wrote it down, that's why I think of him as the old timer, because what I wrote down was, I'm glad that nobody says old timer anymore, because did that guy even have a name? Because everyone was just like, hey, calm down, old timer. Hey, old timer, get in the car. Hey, you okay, old timer?
I think somebody called him Barney at one point. Maybe it was
I'm
the
not
doctor.
Got to nip it in the bud.
No, we took old timer to the doctor.
I don't think
Right.
his name was Bud.
Yeah. I think they have him listed on IMDb as old man.
Oh.
So I think that was his name was old timer.
Old timer man.
But they also have one listed as a smooching teenager. So.
Oh, I know.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And right after I was looking someone up, and right after I read smooching teenagers, then the smooching teenagers happened in the movie. It happened right after that. I was like, oh, there they are.
He's listed as Barney the old man.
Barney the old man. Okay. Oh,
Barney
okay.
is
He's
the
Barney
old
the old
man.
Barney T. Oldman.
Poor old timer.
I don't see him on here as Barney.
But now we're
that's what it says on Wikipedia.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty.
And I vaguely remember, I think it was the doctor called him Barney at some point.
Maybe so. But he definitely called him old timer as well, because it was like, hey, calm down, old timer. You know.
Yeah.
And it really I was just like, man, if you were playing the old timer drinking game, you'd be sloshed by the end of that scene.
There's Steve McQueen.
Sloshed right along with the monster.
There you go.
That's true.
The monster sloshed.
Mm-hmm.
There's the old man is Owen Allen, but that was his name. And we got confused on IMDb. They have Steve McQueen as Steve Anders as Steve McQueen. What?
Steven.
He was
listed.
Steven.
His name was
Steven.
listed as Stephen McQueen on the credits.
Stephen McQueen, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was. Okay, now I see. They did spell the names a little different.
Yeah. I didn't know his character had a last name. I guess I didn't notice that. I know he was Steve, but
Well, I think his dad, when the
think
parents came to pick him up in the
Yeah,
jail, I
I
think
think
I think they called the
Mr.
dad
Andrews.
Mr. Andrews.
Okay.
Andrews.
So I think that was
Okay.
the only really way we knew.
okay.
Which
I'd
we
forgotten
didn't know
about the dad.
we didn't know his first name, but I'm sure it was Archie.
More than likely.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That stunk. Okay, if I gotta.
Bring it.
I still enjoy this movie. I think this is a fascinating movie.
Sure.
To do the technical work they did creating the monster,
Yes.
as I've been told it should be called. To get the different camera angles and things like that. And to me, yeah, I saw it when it first came out, so I think it's a great movie. I just am so sorry that they remade the movie with Kevin Dillon. And
Yeah.
to me, it was kids. I know Steve McQueen was 30. They didn't stretch it all that far by calling him Steve, so he didn't have to think about extra lines or anything.
He was the Tony Danza of his day.
Wow.
But I thought I still like it. I may even go watch it again tonight after the broadcast.
Okay, I'm not gonna go watch it again tonight. But honestly, I kind of did like this movie too. In all fairness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's got some good qualities to it. It's got a few cringy bits here and there, but it's got some interesting ideas, and it actually manages in places to build the drama reasonably well.
Mhm.
Right.
But it also has a lot of kind of obnoxious behavior.
Yeah.
The thing with the cops, that honestly got old in about the first 90 seconds.
Yeah. The fact that they
the
kept
cops don't get along. Great, fine, let it go.
Yeah, that kind of went on a little bit.
It just the one cop was just so obnoxious and just wouldn't let it go and just wouldn't let it go. And I'm like, please tell me this guy's not going to be in this movie much longer. I don't want him to get eaten by the monster or anything, but damn.
His shift ended, so he's leaving. Bye.
Right.
Please leave.
Right. Anything. Man.
You don't have to go home, but
Please don't stay on my screen.
Yeah, I think they had, and there was a lot of, well, I think part of the problem with the cops was, and I one of the things that I wrote down was that early on, it's like it felt like, well, it felt like they could have given the script like one more pass to have someone just kind of go through it, because it felt early on, it felt like it was trying to be more than one kind of movie. Yeah. Like it's like, is this like a teen romance movie? Is it a juvenile delinquent movie? Is it like a cop, cops dealing with juvenile delinquents? Is it a monster movie? It's like, and then there was a point where I had this thought, like, if they just suddenly broke into like a dance number, I wouldn't be surprised, because they're kind of, every couple of scenes, it feels like they're going in a whole new direction, and then now we got to have the whole, what happened to the doctor? Where did the doctor go? And remember, we had this whole mystery of let's have like 5 conversations about, I wonder where the doctor went, and like no one seems to notice that the nurse also disappeared, but no one's asking any questions about her. Right. But let's bring the doctor's landlady down and have a really long conversation about that. Really and long. It's just like, really? Is that the direction the story's going to go now? And, no one's listening to Steve, because we're because all the grown-ups are too distracted by, yeah, but we really should talk to the doctor. And, it's like, oh, good Lord. And it's like, we could have just sort of tightened things up a little bit and kept the story moving a little faster. Or just
evenly. Who cares how slow it is, as long as it's moving evenly, and it was not.
Yeah.
Not by a ways.
And if it kept moving in the same direction, because when it's kept focusing on Steve and the girl, and kept like staying with them trying to solve things, and whether it was, them pissing off adults or rounding up the other kids or whatever it was, it's like, that's when the story moved, and that's when it was really good. But every time it was, let's go hang out with the cops and see what they're doing, it's like, no one cares about them.
Right.
They're just clucking at each other like a couple of old hens anyway.
No one cares if that guy plays chess. No one cares. Does he even have a name? No one gives a shit about the cops. Let's go.
We're not in this movie for cops, damn it. The cops are the bad guys. It's the late 50s. Come on.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they at one point mention it was past 11 o'clock? As like, why was the doctor still in his office?
Yeah.
And then and now he's supposed to be getting in his car and meeting a associate
doctor. Yeah.
To be going to a convention. It's like at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, that makes a lot.
Safe, right?
Yeah, that sounds really suspicious.
But and everybody seems to be up. It's just like, okay. So I was like, well, maybe
because it was the movie that the actual teenagers were going to was a midnight showing.
Right.
And they were kind of killing time until midnight. And then they went and rousted them out of there. And boy, there's a shit ton of people in that midnight movie.
Really?
There's a lot of people in that relatively small theater. Because there's an awful lot of people running out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. Everybody who wasn't at that one party was in the movie theater at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, apparently. God, the party. I forgot about the weird party. What the hell was going on in there?
Yeah, no kidding. I want that. I want the sequel to be that party. That's all we need.
I wanted the whole backstory of what the hell's going on in that house.
They were not playing chess in there, I'm just saying.
No, I think there was some illicit substances in that house.
There might have been.
They were swingers or something, man. They were...
It was pretty wild.
Uh-huh.
For 1958.
That's right. There's some stuff going on in that town.
Right, for a movie that's allegedly about these teenagers.
Yeah.
That party stood out a bit. I'm just saying. Pretty weird.
Yeah.
This kind of comes across as a bit of a slice of life movie, but holy cow, there's a lot of slices.
But yeah, like, I mean, as long as the story stayed on Steve, and I hate that I could never remember the girl's name, but
Jane.
Jane.
Her
Okay.
name's Jane.
Okay. I didn't write her down, but yes, she just, and where's the dog? And her, her obsession with the dog, but like,
Well,
I mean,
Liz could identify with that.
Liz thought the dog was the star of the damn movie, I'm sure. But.
I mean, the dog was very cute and stuff, but I kept being like, at one point it was just like, I think it got the dog. It's like, oh, please don't let it have gotten the dog. That's just going to be really, really, it can't have gotten the dog. That's not okay. But like, when they get to the grocery store and, that was one thing that I made a point of jotting down. When all of a sudden, Steve has the superhuman strength to just jump up onto a store, like the top of the shelves, like he's an orangutan or something. And it's like, who can do that? Like, that is like a standing jump, and he's like, 6 feet in the air now. That is some crazy superhuman strength he's suddenly exhibiting there.
Well, Steve watched Tremors too many times.
Maybe other Steve McGall, or isn't that his name, Steve McGall? The action guy? Seagal.
Oh, Steven Seagal?
Seagal.
Yeah.
Right.
He can do that too.
I don't know.
But he can't act half as good as Steve McQueen. Believe
Not
me.
by a ways, right.
Not at all. He was good at his acrobat stuff, though. Acrobat, whatever fighting that was.
Let's just call it martial arts and let it go at that point, because there's probably arguments to be made there.
So very loosely we'll use martial arts.
Movie martial arts.
Right.
Not like real martial arts.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a lot of Steve McQueen's movies.
Great Escape.
Yes.
Oh God, I love The Great Escape.
Oh God, yes.
That's the main one. That's the one I always go to. The original Thomas Crown Affair, very, very good.
We talked about The Magnificent Seven on the show.
Yeah. Yep.
He was in that.
Oh yeah.
Bullet is a famous one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Towering Inferno.
Which one did we talk about on the show?
The Magnificent
Seven.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did.
Cowboy movie.
Remember I watched the Adam Sandler one.
No, you watched the one with Denzel Washington.
You poor devil.
Trying to shake this for you, Liz, but you're not helping me out at all. You're not helping me at all.
Yeah, I'm looking at his list. I've maybe seen a few of those, for sure. The Cincinnati Kid.
Yeah.
What was it, The Hunter?
Yes.
Where he played the bounty hunter?
I believe it was a hunter.
Oh.
Based on true story?
Papillon.
Uh-huh.
Nevada Smith is a good one.
And he did 2 episodes for Hitchcock, too.
Wow.
Sand Pebbles. That's a
Hell
good
is for Heroes. Why haven't I seen that one?
Because this is how we find the movies that we go watch afterwards. That's how.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked damn good doing it too. He just.
Bob Newhart in it. In a Hell movie. That's kind of weird.
God, now I want to watch Nevada Smith again. It's been too long.
I don't know Nevada Smith. Is that a Western?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the son of a mixed race couple who gets killed. They raped his mother, and then Carl Malden is the bad guy.
Ooh.
Ooh, very good.
So he basically changes his name and goes out for revenge, hunting them down and killing them one by one.
Awesome. Okay.
And he's the good guy.
He's the good guy.
Right.
Yeah. It's also got Brian Keith, Suzanne Plachette, very early Suzanne Plachette, Pat Hingle's in it, Martin Landau.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
oh my God.
it's a nice cast.
That is a stacked cast.
Paul Fix, was in The Rifleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I'll probably, I'll go mention it to my husband. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, of course I've seen it," because he's seen it.
It's still worth watching.
Actually, what he's probably gonna say is, "Oh yeah, I've got it. It's right over there on the shelf," because that's usually what happens. Oh, we have that.
Let's watch it.
Right.
It's a goodie.
Because apparently we have all of the movies. Apparently.
Oh sure. Yeah, I went through a big Western phase a while back, and that was one of the earlier ones I saw. I was like, oh man, got to.
Cool.
Okay, so we talked about Jane a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mentioned cringy early on, and Jane is one of the is like probably the main character that the way she was written, I found cringy.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
She has a couple of like really great scenes where there's the scene when they're sneaking out and they're outside in the driveway, and I mean, he's like, I don't even know what's going on at this point. I don't know what I saw. And she pep talks the shit out of him. And he's all ready to save the world afterward. And that, I thought for her, that was a really nice scene.
Yeah.
And then, like, the next scene she's really does anything in, she, like, sees the blob and passes slap the fuck out. And has to be carried out of the room. And I'm like, really? Why is she written in a way that she's like this emotional rock unless something's actually happening in the room, and then she's just a puddle of goo? What the hell is that?
I see. Someone needed to go through the script. It's like there's maybe she was more than one character at some point, and then they just mushed them all together into one girl. I don't know, man, because it's like, yeah.
See, I'll buy that, except that this is 1958, and I don't think if anybody had done a script pass on this again, that she would have changed. Because I think that's fairly standard for how women were written in the 1950s.
Well, the fainting part, sure, but the pep talk part, yeah, I don't know what other character would have done the pep talk.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I thought it was great that she did it, that it was in there, and I mean, like I said, that made the role interesting to me, except for every other scene, basically, where she's, other than looking for the dog, totally useless. I was just like,
telling her little brother to go back to bed. That little brother.
That was another good scene where she's, I mean, I don't know.
She's having to totally tell him, like, lie to him in a really creative way to, like, just shut up and go back to bed.
Because the kid clearly doesn't have an inside voice. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him, but
God.
I mean, at 11 o'clock at night, he's yelling at the top of his lungs, I want to go with you. Like, okay, chill the hell out. God. So, yeah, and she handled the scene fairly well.
Yeah. She's like, but it's time to go to bed. Why should I go to bed? I'm not sleeping. It's like, dude, read the room.
Yeah.
I kept that scene in particular, because of the kid, I kept thinking, God, that they had to do more than one take. And that was probably the best take they got.
Right.
It's just like, shit, we're not going to get better out of this kid. Just go.
Right. Well, I mean, what are the odds that that's what they hired the kid for in the first place, was to just be that obnoxious? I mean,
be annoying. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Imagine those auditions.
Oh no, not
He's somebody's nephew, he's not an actor.
I gotta hope not.
Although him being with them at the end and the whole put your head down, go to sleep. Now because I do love the ending. I love them being in the basement of the diner and all that stuff. I love all of that. And I love the whole air raid aspect of the way when everyone finally kind of gets their shit together and things are starting to be taken seriously and everything is like, okay, everybody, we're all going to band together and we're going to fight this thing. And it was very like Red Menace-y kind of, which is very much the way all the old monster movies were. It was very, fight the foreign invaders,
right?
Red Menace-y kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, whatever time period you're in. I mean,
yeah.
Before that, it was the Nazis, but yeah.
Right. But like, and the way that all of that got set up and the way everyone's sort of coming together to come up with a plan and all that it was like once we got to that point, it was just like, damn it, the rest of the movie could have been as good as this. It was almost like they had the idea for the end and all they had to do was come up with the rest of the movie to get us there. It's like it almost felt like they came up with the idea for that. And then it's like, well, we just have to come up with a reason for all these people to be there, and then we have a movie. I don't know, but that's right. I love.
We spend
ending.
An hour introducing people that just don't seem to be in any way connected, and in order to just put them together for the last 20 minutes and have them.
And then we all show up at a diner. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, here's a bunch of really incompetent people, but at the last minute, let's all be a team.
Right, as opposed
we're all going to work together.
As
and the
opposed to
cops
making
are going to trust
sense.
the teenagers.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, that's because the principal's going to go and literally break into his own school because he doesn't have his keys.
Oh my God! Yes.
That was just like, wow, really? That's how we're going to do this?
Oh. This is life or death. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Look in what the principal needs to do there is look into the faces of the group of kids with him and pick the one that he likes the least or that gives him the most trouble and hand him the rock and say, break it.
Through a window.
Let him do it. You know how much actual street cred that principal would have gotten if he had done that right then and there?
Oh, God, that would have been... that would have been really cool. And that kid's been wanting to do that for a really long time.
Oh, my God, yeah. They all have, and he's the one who got to. I mean, the kid gets street cred, too. It's a win-win, but we didn't write the script, so,
No. And all the teenagers watching the movie who aren't just making out in their cars, at the drive-in, all the ones who are actually watching the movie, that would be their favorite part of the whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. See? We could have... one more pass through that script.
I say this is what you get
for... Give somebody one more pass.
I say this is what you get for letting 50-year-olds write a movie, but hell, what age are we?
Don't.
Yeah, but we're like really cool 50-year-olds.
No, we're not. I'm not. Shit.
And we know what the hell we're doing.
Ain't nothing cool about me. Ask my 16-year-old. He'll tell you.
I have turquoise hair, though.
I'm not saying you're not cool. I'm just saying I'm not
so cool.
Of course you are. Absolutely.
If I may.
The coolest.
I'd like to address the truck move they did in this movie. Truck being the other member of the Cunninghams.
Okay.
Ah, yeah.
What happened to Steve's dad? The last thing we know is that he was talking to his wife, saying that Steve was in bed, and they can go to bed now too. And that was it.
And he never showed up in the insane mob that was.
Oh, they weren't there at the end?
No.
Oh.
No, he wasn't part of it.
Oh.
I'll go out on a limb.
Very sound sleepers?
I'll go out on a limb, maybe, and say that they weren't there. He wasn't there because all of the other parents were there to save their teenagers, and Steve McQueen don't need saving.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that he was trying to get rid of him.
Well,
so they're like, nah.
Right. Well,
Wish you the best, son.
Either that or he's in there sweeping up his store that his kid broke the crap out of, jumping over the shelves and shit and inviting monsters in.
Just get home and they'll be like, you were gone?
Right. He sneaks back in and just goes to bed like nothing happened. Parents wake up the next day, the town is all torn to shit, and they're trying to airlift this frozen blob out of the town, and they're like, did
no
something happen?
Media, so it'll be a while before they found out.
Right, no CNN or nothing. I mean, come on,
Nothing.
man.
You're like, why is this jelly all over the town? Let's touch it.
What flavor is it? Don't touch that!
Let's touch it.
Yeah, it's the evil. Don't touch it.
It's evil!
Uh,
Of course, there's some in the toaster oven, so, yeah.
Mm-hmm, totally.
And everybody else is going, huh?
Somebody got my reference.
Yes, I got you.
Time Bandits, people.
Time Bandits.
We watched that movie for. No, we're not doing it again. Don't worry.
Oh.
We already did it.
Oh, we can.
No.
I hear they're making a new one. I heard that somewhere. A new Time Bandits.
Who?
Or maybe a TV series of Time Bandits.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
He said tentatively.
My first reaction was, oh, cool. And then I thought, oh, that could be a terrible idea.
It really could.
Mm-hmm.
Don't screw with Terry Gilliam. It just doesn't work. Terry Gilliam can barely figure out Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
She's in my clothes. Lacey.
And our first dog cameo just happened.
Lacey.
Liz.
In our
I'm sorry.
in our alternate title.
She started to try to go up underneath my clean clothes, so I didn't have time to
put on.
Screw the mute button. I had to save the laundry.
Clean clothes on the floor. No.
Yes, our alternate title right there. She's in my clothes. Oh God.
Man. Yep.
She's situated now.
Oh, thank goodness.
Maybe. No. Oh, she's not dressing well.
Brandon,
Lou, lay down.
Can you take over the mute button for your mom, please? Please.
Oh, and while we're at it, what did you think of the Blob?
It was good. Probably the oldest thing I've watched, except for Doctor Who.
It's older than Doctor Who.
It's older than Doctor Who.
It is
Okay,
older.
it's the oldest thing I watched. Then yeah.
There you go. We got to get you on some Universal monster movies, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh,
Keep trying to tell the classics, man.
There you go. If only your mother would do that for you, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I know. Your mother sucks, man. You can tell her I said that.
Didn't expect that one.
Maybe throw a little German expressionism silence in there. Get a little cabinet of Dr. Caligari in there and some,
I think that's something we need
Those
to
are
work
fun.
backward towards, but yeah. Let's not overwhelm the guy. He's just getting started on. So we haven't even gotten to the black and white yet. We're gonna take this.
That's
be careful.
true.
We gotta be careful with it.
That's true. I keep forgetting that black and white is like a weird thing for people to watch now. Like it's not like when we were kids and black and white was on all the time.
Right. I mean, we had a black and white TV for a while in my house. I mean,
right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
We had a color TV real early.
Awesome.
If they would stop moving long enough.
You've never watched black and white TV?
Doctor Who?
Other than Doctor Who, you've never seen black and white TV?
No.
Y'all can hear the surprise in my voice, right?
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Yeah.
Like Beverly Hillbillies or something?
I Love Lucy.
Oh, my God.
That was black and white.
Ed Sullivan?
Clearly he wasn't watching, so.
He's not going to admit he hasn't seen I Love Lucy.
He doesn't want to die tonight. I mean, come on.
He's like, I've seen the dolls and the tins and the blankets. Magnets, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, that wandered off into the weeds.
The Blob!
Surprise!
I know, shocking, right?
We get him to talking and we cut him off. Enough for you.
Don't listen to them, Brandon. You're doing fine.
You're doing all right. If you can just master that mute button, that'll be awesome, too.
I know, and the mic that I have, he even bought for me, so he should know how to work it. and Lacey's only in here because he is, just saying.
Uh-huh.
That's his dog.
Well, that's good to know.
She kind of looks like a blob right now. Trying to bring it back, guys. Bring it back.
Trying. I don't know if you're succeeding, but you're trying. So what the hell did they make that stuff out of?
I was just thinking about that because I meant to look it up, but I didn't.
Practical effects.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, it looks like the slime they sell nowadays, like a water slime.
But it looked thick. It looked really, really thick. Like it didn't look runny. It looked like it had a real thick outer skin to it.
And then they managed to push it through a vent at one point, which was kind of a cool effect. But
oh my God, yeah.
The movie theater.
The movie theater, I think, coming out of the production or the projector holes. That's one of my. Oh God, I love that shot so much.
Yep.
It's so cool.
Says the blob was created with a modified weather balloon in the early shots, and in the later shots was colored silicone gel.
Yeah.
The film was originally going to be called The Glob, and it was changed.
The glob! The globule.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I'm reading here on Wikipedia, it talks about it being silicone with increasing amounts of red vegetable dye added as it, quote-unquote, absorb people.
Okay, so did they really assemble an absolute shit ton of silicone gel, or were they doing that with models that were smaller?
I'm sure they were doing models.
It must have been models.
Yeah.
That's a lot of gel.
And it's only just now occurring to me. It's like, is the blob getting redder and redder because it's eating people?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we're led to assume.
All the guts and all the blood and guts of all the people it's been eating.
Mm-hmm.
That just occurred to me just now.
Yummy.
Because we didn't really get a good look at it before it took the old timer down. Before. I mean, it was such a little thing that we didn't really have.
Cute little blob.
It was just a little blob, a baby blob. A blobino.
And that's what it wants to be known as, a baby blob.
Mm-hmm. Well, then it needs to get its overeating problem under control, man. I'm just saying.
Right.
True.
So
Okay.
if it was a vegetarian, it would turn green. It would
it
would eat vegetables and it would turn green.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, it says here
The salad blob.
It says here for the diner scene, a photograph of the building was put on a gyroscopically operated table onto which cameras had been mounted. The table was shaken and the blob rolled off. When the film negative was printed in reverse, it appeared to be oozing over the building.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I love every time that they do stuff in reverse like that. That's always just it's so damn cool.
They do stuff in reverse, and the blob the whole time it's climbing up the diner is saying, "Paul is dead. Paul is dead." Oh, y'all get that reference, huh? Yeah,
I get
all right.
I'm not going to save you from that one. I'm sorry.
I get it.
That's okay. We make a lot of obscure references around here.
Us? Oh, no.
So I can't find the whole clip that they took this from, but it sounds like there was only 5 gallons of the glob stuff made.
Okay, yeah.
And they kept it in the original container.
Well, and you can just
Well,
keep
5
reusing it.
gallons.
You just every time you're moving to a new shot, you add a little more red dye. And
Right.
You just got to keep it clean. You just
Yeah.
got to keep, grit and stuff out of it.
Right.
I mean, you really only need 5 or 6 good shots for what
Yeah.
you're
Like
aiming for.
slime you make with glue.
Mhm.
I think glue would have been cheaper than silicone, though.
That depends on where you're getting it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Wow, very cool.
Blue wouldn't photograph well, though.
Yeah.
That's true. It wouldn't. The
Yeah.
light wouldn't shine through it.
It would get like a bluish tint and stuff to it also.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a purple glob.
Heck no.
That would just look
Weird.
That just wouldn't work at all. Nobody would be afraid of a purple blob.
Not a purple one.
nah.
What other notes you got, Amelia?
I'm actually going through them right now. I think I've gone through. Oh, the only other things that I didn't go over was I wrote down some things about when we were in the doctor's office and the doctor was like hollering at his nurse to get that trichloroacetic acid, and because I just because it's like so she grabs a bottle of like the tiniest little amount, first of all, of trichloroacetic acid. It's like a half a pint maybe, which she throws at it, and that's basically like it's like super concentrated vinegar. That's like, and it's like, and that's for like taking your warts off your skin. That's like, that's not like really, really powerful anything. It's just, for burning your warts off. And they basically went from, hey, let's throw some vinegar at it, and then it's get my gun. They don't really try. They don't know what they're dealing with, but they go from throwing vinegar at it to let's shoot it. Like it, they don't. It's not, hey, hit it with a bat. I mean, like they don't.
Right.
Let's try scaring it. Like they don't. Let's go boo or something. They don't try a lot of different things.
Well, I mean, he kind of had to go into panic mode because, like all women in the presence of the blob, apparently her knees stopped working, and all of a sudden she's on the floor screaming. And I'm like,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
not exactly portraying women well in this flick, but anyway.
And meanwhile, and of course he does the don't move a muscle. Hey, go over there and grab that bottle. It's like, okay, make up your mind, dude.
Do you want me to move?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to freeze, or do you want me to go on the floor? Do you want me to?
You want me to stand stock still, or do you want me to go grab the weapons grade vinegar? Make up your mind.
And remember, the nurse was not known to be there. The doctor called her in.
Called her back
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So
because
nobody knew that she was there. So that's why you don't
That's true.
Good point.
see anything about her.
That's true.
That's
That's
why
why
they
no
don't
one
ask about her
suspected,
later.
hey, where'd the nurse go?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Right.
Good point.
They won't know about her till like tomorrow,
Right.
when
So they do a
someone
head count.
notices she's gone.
Or a
Their
week
cats
later.
haven't been
Yeah.
fed.
Yeah, her landlady will show up
Right.
and be annoying in the middle of a crime scene.
Oh God, that landlady. I mean, that was a really long scene, but that scene was funny. It's like, well, I'll just dust around the fingerprints. It was very amusing, but it was like, okay, don't we have somewhere we need to be?
Other than here, yes, yeah.
Right. This lady's prodigious level of annoyance is interesting, but does it move the story along? Not so much.
No.
Yeah. Can we wrap it up?
Right.
Can we wrap it up here? Yeah.
I mean, unless they're trying to portray the absolute weirdness of some of the people in this town randomly. I mean, but why?
Right. Yeah, it's almost like, did this just become a David Lynch movie or something? Are we doing a character study?
Right. I'm almost getting Last Picture Show vibes out of this just because there's so much time spent on these characters kind of almost without a plot.
With no payoff later.
Yeah, with
it's
no
just like,
payoff at
we
all.
never see these people again.
Right.
I know that y'all mentioned the Glob. Did y'all mention the reason why they did not use that as the title? I missed that.
No.
Some guy was already using the name, I think they said.
Yeah, it was Walt Kelly. He used
Yeah.
it for a pogo book. And they thought,
Oh.
and they thought, well, we can't do that, so they went with the Blob.
Huh.
And
So
the rest was history.
So
Mhm.
how about that?
And that's the rest of the story.
Age 2.
Anybody else got one? Come on.
Wow. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, if it was called the Glob, I don't think it would have, I think everyone would have just, like, laughed. Because, I mean,
Yeah. It's not as
hard
catchy
G's
or-
are automatically funny.
Yeah.
Just, you can't say it without laughing. That's why it was in a pogo book.
Right.
It's just one of those words.
Mm-hmm.
It's too funny. And then imagine the song. Think of the song if they were saying "Beware of the Glob." You can't take that seriously.
We could barely take it seriously when it was the Blob. Hell.
Right. They're like, ooh, let's touch it.
Here we go with touching things again.
Liz, put that down. You don't know where it's been.
Sanitize it first, anyway. Hell. This movie actually made some money too.
Yes, that's what I'm seeing here.
I mean, $4 million doesn't seem like a lot now, but
That's
in
But for back then,
$58, that was a crap ton.
Pretty good.
especially when the budget was 110.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, that easily meets Hollywood qualifications for turning a buck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's take a look, though. In 1958, some of the movies that came out in 58 were Seventh Voyage of Sinbad,
Ooh.
The Brain Eaters,
Yum.
How to Make a Monster, Monster on Campus, The Fly. Let's see, the Mummy.
Which mummy?
I believe
the
this
Hammer one?
is the Hammer.
Christopher Lee.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Teenage Monster on Campus. Let's see.
Well, and obviously I Married a Monster from Outer Space.
Right.
That
Yeah.
was the double feature.
Earth versus the Spider. Yeah.
Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Oh.
Dang. A lot of movies I've heard of. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently 58 was a watershed year for questionable science fiction films.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just want to stick on that, yeah. Curse of Frankenstein.
Was that the
speaking of
first?
Hammer,
That's
Horror of Dracula,
that's
too.
Peter Cushing, Hazel Court, directed by Terrence Fisher.
Mm-hmm. Hammer mainstays.
Auntie May.
So it had good company.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I just saw where Queen of Outer Space was made that year.
Okay.
Not familiar with that
Now,
one either.
I'm not.
You're not?
No. Enlighten me.
Shasha Gabor.
That was...
Oh.
It's
Okay.
so good.
Was that Gabor?
Yes, it is.
Did you mention It, the Terror from Beyond Space? That's the same year. No one's seen that one?
Oh, yeah.
That is actually on my watch list.
Yeah, it will be.
Okay. Cool. Maybe I'm getting a head start on that one. I don't know.
This is the film that was one of the inspirations for Alien.
Right. Yeah, that's probably why it's on my watch list.
Yeah.
It probably got mentioned in a documentary I was watching about Alien or something.
Uh-huh. So yeah, there's some really good ones this year. Just sci-fi alone.
Right.
And to let you know, that was the year that Forrest J. Ackerman came out with Famous Monsters of Filmland.
Oh, that's
There
where
you
it
go.
started. Cool.
Nice. God, I'm looking at this list and 58. I mean, if you expand it, what a freaking year! Vertigo.
Yeah. Velvet and Candle was that year. Yep.
Run Silent, Run Deep. I love that film.
That's a great movie.
Have y'all seen that one? With Clark Gable and Burt Lancaster. It's a submarine film.
Movie. I don't know that I've seen it. But...
Robert Wise directed it.
Ah.
No Time for Sergeants.
Oh yeah.
Andy
Yeah.
Griffith.
Uh-huh.
And Nick. What was his co-star's name?
Hang on. Let me go back. Nick Adams.
Nick Adams, yeah. Who was in Westerns, among other stuff. And Japanese monster movies. I think he was in the original Mothra.
Wow.
Let's see what else is. I saw a couple others. High School Confidential.
Oh,
Maybe Van Doren and Russ Tamlin. So, yeah, really good year. Talk about Westerns, Fort Massacre.
Okay.
With Joe McCrea and Forrest Tucker.
Talk about giving away with the plot with the title, jeez.
So, yeah, really good year. So, okay, so we recommend The Blob?
Absolutely.
I think we do.
Yeah, I would.
I would recommend it.
Bug
I'm
said,
pretty iffy on it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And if you're gonna watch it, you should definitely jump up when the opening song is playing and
And
dance around.
Absolutely.
Start dancing
Let
Les.
the music take you. Just
Yeah.
go with it.
I think the Batusi would fit good with it.
Absolutely.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Well, I thought that was your move, Les.
I was going to say, I've seen him dance that.
What the frill are you people talking about?
I don't even think there was any alcohol involved that time. But anyway.
There wasn't. It was just Batman Day.
Princess Hulk smash.
I have
said
witnesses.
good night.
I said good day.
I said, good day, sir.
Actually, I think that was the time that Perkala was there too.
Yeah. Like I said, Princess Hulk smash.
Yeah.
I can see she has pictures of that.
So you can bribe her with them and destroy them?
No, I tell people about that and they say I'm stupid. So I'm going to show them how stupid I really am. I'm just the guy to do it.
Nobody more
You're gonna
qualified.
set that part for her.
Okay. On that note, we are going to take a quick break and be back with Geek News for You. And we're back, and it's time for Geek News for You. In this segment, we bring a couple news items to the table for discussion. This week, it is Les and myself. And Les, would you lead off, please, sir?
Thank you, sir. My news is coming from HBO, and it seems that they are eyeing another Game of Thrones prequel series. In this one, you have the time set at 300 years prior to the events of Game of Thrones. And this would take a look. Now, help me out if I start getting bad names here.
I got
Take a look at how Egan and Targaryen and the sister wives Visenya and Rhaenys commanded an army of dragons to take command of the 6 Westeros 7 kingdoms. How I got through that, I don't know.
Bravo.
But I guess my question is why? Why do you want to go back? You've got a finite series that you had people tune in every week to watch.
Ching-ching.
Yeah.
That's why they're doing it.
Because some of
right.
those same people will tune in to watch the new one.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it.
That means more money.
It's just like if they started doing another Sopranos.
Spaceballs 2, the quest for more money.
Well, I mean, I was about to say something similar. History of the World Part 2.
Yeah. You're right.
I'm still trying to pretend that doesn't exist.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you brought that up.
No, it's fine.
It's here, Mike. Ha ha ha. It's here.
Damn, okay.
And we're getting none of the things that we were promised. Like a Viking funeral, or Jews in space, or anything like that.
Right.
Or Hitler on ice. Ice skating. Yes. We're not getting any of that shit. So, it's anyway.
Oh, I just saw this.
Okay.
There's a possibility of a film being produced by HBO and Warner Brothers to serve as the lead-in to this series.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have a 2-hour movie, and then the series picks up.
Okay.
So screw a happy ending in the movie then, because it's just an
Right.
intro.
Right.
All it is like Back to the Future 2. It's just a setup for the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that 2-hour long trailer for the series.
There you go. Yep.
Ouch. Damn.
It's the Phantom Menace of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh man. I hope there's
It's
I hope there's pod racing. I really do.
It's the Doc Savage of Doc Savage versus the Underworld. Oh yeah, they never made that. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, instead of pod racers, it'd be dragons. So I don't think it's the same thing though. But that's just me.
I guess we'll have to just wait and see, huh?
Yep. Well, I mean, I'm happy for those who are excited about it. So.
Absolutely.
Right.
I hope they get everything they want.
Yep. All right. I have a couple of items here. One, it kind of piggybacks off of the story I brought last week. It is being reported that publisher Pan Macmillan, in future printings of the book Gone with the Wind, is actually going to have a quote-unquote trigger warning. They're not altering the book, but they're going to advise that the book contains, derogatory, descriptions.
Language.
Right, yeah, language and slavery and so that's an interesting move. That was something I kind of mentioned last week. You keep the material. You don't alter material. You just say, hey, this, and in this case, it's a story about things that happen in the real world. It's not a real story, but these types of things happen, and
it was the sign of the times.
It was the sign of the times. Yeah. So I thought that's an interesting move. We'll see see whether or not that,
See how that pans out. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So my second item involves one of our favorite things: remakes. You'll never guess what has been announced to be being remade.
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Close.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
It's a cult movie, but I think I don't think
The Giant Claw.
Killer Clowns.
Manos, The Hands of Fate.
How about
Okay, Liz wins this round.
How about Faces of Death?
Oh boy.
Huh. Like an updated version or something?
Well, the premise that's being touted here is that quote unquote a female moderator of a YouTube-like website whose job is to weed out offensive and violent content, and who herself is recovering from a serious trauma, that stumbles across a group that is recreating the murders from the original film. But in the story primed for the digital age and age of online misinformation, the question faces, are the murders real or fake?
So it's not Faces of Death. I thought... Maybe I'm wrong. Never mind.
What? Well,
I thought Faces of Death was like a clip compilation or I can't even say the word.
Compilation.
Compilation.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Brenda.
Compilation. Like a clip complex. Yeah, that word show. Like it showed like different ways of dying. Like
from what I understand, I'm not sure if that's true or not.
I never saw them. I know the story that the marketing behind the film was that everything in it was real, but that ended up being just marketing.
Some of this was like. Let me make sure I'm talking about the same show because Phil watches all that kind of stuff. But like one story, I say story, it was a clip. A guy was convicted of being a P word. I don't know how bad they're censoring those kind of words, but instead of like, we're talking third world country. Instead of like our courts would take that and handle justice, they took justice into their own hands and tied him to a tree and beat the living shit out of him. And he, of course he died. But it was just things like that. One guy got his face ripped off by an alligator, and it was just different deaths.
Mm-hmm.
But I assumed it was all real because nothing.
Because that's what we were told.
Yeah. And it didn't, well, I mean, people were dying, but it didn't seem like extraordinary or out of the ordinary kind of thing,
Yeah, well, snuff films are illegal, so it can't really be that.
Yeah, but during this time when the one that I'm talking about, when it came out, they had all kinds of stuff like bum fights and, even on TV, they had the, 101 Ways to Die? And they told the different little weird ways of dying and that kind of thing. So it was a little bit more graphic than the one on TV, but it wasn't like gore fest or anything, I mean, guy did get his face ate by an alligator, but it wasn't, that kind of stuff happens.
That was the happy moment.
And, but I'm wanting to say that was called Faces of Death. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I've not seen it, but yeah, I, like Mike said, I mean that's what we were told, so that's why I've never checked it out. So I don't know whether or not how much of it's legit and some of it's just
okay. Well, he's saying from what I'm reading, they were real, but some of them were reenacted. So I was right. These didn't really have a plot behind them. It was just, hey, here's a fucked up story. Let me tell you about it, kind of thing. And almost like a current affair, but just death.
And instead now we have YouTube, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they used to have that
out in the
website,
mid-80s, I believe.
like rotten.com, where they showed, all the coroner pictures and that kind of thing. And
this is the thing that you would know way more about than we would, Liz.
Yeah. I just didn't realize that it was supposed to have this one's the reboot here. Sounds like it's got like a whole complicated story.
They actually have a story to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the ones before were just, now we take you over to Louisiana, kind of thing. And
right, like the Italian Mondo films.
Maybe so.
Yeah. No, I'll buy that. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they definitely weren't for the faint of heart, for sure. This kind of sounds like it's I don't know, Netflix special or something. I'm not meaning that in a derogatory. You know what I mean.
No, that kind of
No, keep digging. Go ahead,
Yes,
keep digging.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
It's not
Yeah.
a real thing. It's something they've made.
Right.
You know, but as to the other was real stories with reenactments or, you know, that kind of thing. It's still a real story, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, and I don't want to say early because I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, it's a little bit more of like a found footage type thing.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Found footage.
Yeah, and this is more likely to be
like a plot and character.
At least a mishmash of the two.
Well, it kind of sounds like what was the original Faces of Death. She's going to be like a YouTube commenter on. So maybe that's how they brought the Faces of Death into it.
Maybe.
I mean, it's horror. I'll watch it, but definitely will be different.
Let us know how that goes.
Yeah. After all of that, she says she's still going to watch it. So it's like, okay.
Well, yeah, you know, just to see. And no, I was just confused because, like I said, what you had described sounded like a whole like story and plot and.
Oh God, we don't need any of that, do we?
Well, not on Faces of Death. You know, those were that never had a plot behind it other than.
No, I know. We know that, but it's just. I mean,
the
look,
new one sounds like it's going to have a story.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. What this is being do, they're capitalizing. Yeah, they're. Yeah, I know. they're trying to capitalize on the name.
Yeah.
Just like Les's story.
Just like everything else.
It's all ka-ching.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Welcome to capitalism, folks.
Definitely an interesting take to come at it from that angle.
I thought it's an interesting story with if they're actually kind of deal with the whole thing of you know, is this true or not, that kind of thing, especially since there's now being a big push on the whole thing about deepfakes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the timing is great, or great for them, because they can capitalize on that with the discussions on like and whether this should be used, because it's not, you know, people are making their own stories, whether, you know, so it's a nice timing for them to kind of capitalize on that.
Yep.
So once again, those who are excited about it, I'm happy for them. Yeah. I like the story idea. Doesn't mean I'm going to watch the film.
Right.
I do like the story idea because it's an interesting idea. Hey, it's an original idea. Holy fuck.
It is, yeah.
Crazy, right? Didn't know they had those anymore.
Yeah. Because with the original, it really wouldn't have been a, like, sequel. It just would have been another volume to the series. Nothing to, you know.
I think there was like
there were three of them, I believe. That's
there was like 6.
Maybe. I know there were at least 3.
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking there was 3 or 4, but 6? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Special shout outs, obviously, Amelia for joining us, and Brandon.
Hello.
Hello.
He's still here.
Hello.
He is. He's the only reason any of us can pronounce the word compilation at this point. Are you kidding?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
Big
joining
thanks
us.
To them.
Yes, thank you.
Any other shout outs?
Nope. Not from here.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go on to our regular ones. Obviously, thank Pop Goes the Culture Podcast Network for allowing us to be part of a great group of fellow podcasts. Definitely check them out. There will be a link in the show notes. We want you to check out the fine men and women who make up Potter Family on Twitter, who've been kind enough to spread the word to the fellowship by retweeting our links. Best way to do that is just to do a search, #Potter Family, one word. Scroll through, and whatever catches your eye, please click on that link and download that episode. We hope you have a great time listening to them. Want to thank Manny the Martyr for supplying music to the podcast. In our show notes, you can check out their music by clicking on that link. And finally, you, dear listener, thank you for downloading and listening to today's episode. We value your feedback. Any questions, comments, suggestions, complaints, observations, what have you, please send them our way. Our email address is email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, or you can go to the website and go to the About Us page and click on that. If you click on that link, there is a contact form that you can fill out there. Didn't mention it earlier, but we do have a Discord that you can join. There is an invitation on our homepage. We post a lot of news items, stuff for discussion, stuff to laugh at, videos, music, whatever. We do have a section specifically for feedback. If you want to post your thoughts there, that would be perfect. Social media, we're on Facebook, The Fellowship of the Geeks. On Instagram, Hive Social, and Twitter, we are at Fellowship Geeks. If you want to follow our personal Twitter accounts, Mike can be found at Mikey Geek. Liz can be found at LN_Geek. Les may or may not be found at Fake Les Webster. And I can be found at TomTC Geek. And from wherever you download our episodes, if you'd be so kind as to rate and review our show, it would be greatly appreciated. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Just A, thanks everybody, and B, go check out Amelia's podcast. It's pretty good.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate you listening.
Yeah, I second. Definitely check out Pitney and Amelia's Bitchin' Boutique.
Link in the show notes.
Link in the show notes, and they are everywhere, so they're not hard to find. Until next time, geek on, my friends.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,